Angela from the blog angelamariemade.com. Today I'm going to show you how I made DIY garden markers with vinyl labels in my Cricut. A few weeks ago, Brandon and I made a DIY raised garden bed and planted fresh herbs in it. I thought it would be fun to make DIY garden markers to go with it, so I found some vintage copper garden markers that were blank to go with the garden labels. I'll link below where I found them as well as where you can find some other cute blank garden markers. So this tutorial is really similar to my DIY pantry label tutorial that I shared a few months ago, so you might recognize some of the steps if you've seen that video. For this tutorial, I made a free SVG and JPEG file of the garden labels so that you can make the same ones as well. It includes many of the most common grown herbs and vegetables as well. It's available in my free printable library, which is linked below. One more thing that I want to mention is that I used vinyl for these labels because vinyl is waterproof and easily removable, which is perfect for garden markers. Begin by gathering all the supplies that you will need. You're going to need a 12 by 12 sheet of vinyl on your Cricut cutting mat, a Cricut cutting machine, masking tape, a vinyl weeding tool, a razor cutter blade, a vinyl squeegee, a ruler, scissors, and transfer tape. Again, I have links to all of the exact materials I used below in the description box. First, determine the size of your garden labels by using a ruler and measuring the width and length of your garden marker surface area to determine the maximum size you have available. Make sure that your label size will be a little bit smaller than the maximum size. Step 2 is to open your label design in Cricut Design Space. You can either create your own label designs or download my free Garden Labels SVG file from my free printable library. If you haven't subscribed yet to the library, just click the button in the description box below to get your free SVG file access. Go ahead and download the file to your computer from the printable library. To open the file in Cricut Design Space, click on Upload, followed by Upload Image, then Browse, and choose the file that you downloaded to your computer, and then select Save. Next, select the Garden Labels file and click Insert Images. Note, it does take about a minute for the file to upload into Cricut Design Space. To prepare your SVG file for cutting the labels, begin by selecting the grouped labels and click on Ungroup. Next, select any labels you don't need and hit Delete. For the remaining labels that you do want to keep, select each one individually and change the size to the custom size you need by entering it in the width and height size boxes along the top toolbar in Cricut Design Space. Make sure when you change the size to select the lock icon to lock the scale in place. Once you finish changing the size of each label item, move the labels so they are in the 12 by 12 grid lines for cutting purposes. Finally, select all the label items by pressing Ctrl-A on a PC or Command-A on a Mac, and then click Attach in the lower right-hand corner so that the file will cut the labels exactly how you see them on the screen. Next, load your Cricut cutting machine with the 12 by 12 sheet of vinyl on your cutting mat that was included with the Cricut. On your Cricut, make sure the dial is set to vinyl. It's important to note that if your labels are on the smaller size, like mine, which were around 1.5 inches long, you may need to turn the dial one notch to the left between paper and vinyl to reduce the cut force. Because my labels were so small, the cut was more intricate and it needed less force, which I realized after cutting first with it set to just vinyl, so you may need to test this out. Finally, click on the green Make It button in the top right-hand corner in Cricut Design Space. Make sure your Cricut machine is connected. Then click the flashing Go button on your Cricut to start cutting. Once your Cricut is finished cutting, remove your vinyl sheet from the mat and start weeding your vinyl with a vinyl weeding tool. I first like to cut any excess vinyl away with scissors before weeding. You can also use a craft razor blade cutter to work in small sections at a time if your labels are really small or intricate like mine were here. Also, because my labels were so small, I had to weed really slowly and be careful to not pull the vinyl up too quickly, and I had to use my weeding tool to hold down some areas while removing the excess vinyl. After weeding, use masking tape to secure the corners of your vinyl sheet to your work surface. Next, for applying transfer tape, the way I like to do this without using my transfer tape applicator is to just press the end of the transfer tape to my work surface and then slowly roll out the transfer tape over the vinyl sheet and smooth the transfer tape down with a vinyl application squeegee. The last step is to cut out each garden label with scissors. Before doing this, I like to do a little flip trick where I turn the vinyl label sheet upside down and I slowly pull the transfer tape back at a 45-degree angle, and then I smooth it back down with a squeegee. I do this on each side. This helps to ensure that the vinyl labels are sticking to the transfer tape. After doing this, then I go ahead and cut each garden label out with scissors. Then, for each label, slowly peel back the transfer tape and apply the label to your garden markers. Make sure to rub down over the transfer tape with a squeegee to ensure that the vinyl is secured to the plant marker. Finally, slowly peel back the transfer tape at a 45-degree angle to see your completed garden marker. And then just keep doing this for the rest of them. I love how these DIY garden markers look in our raised garden bed. As our plants and herbs continue to grow, I won't have to worry about getting confused as to which plant is which. Let me know if you have any questions or comments below. Thanks again for stopping by, and please subscribe to my channel for more fun DIY tutorials.